Nick Bowman is a junior at Trine University. Nick, how are you?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
The reigning MIAA Player of the Week. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to take it back to high school. You live in Angola now, but you played down in Fishers. Talk a little bit about your high school basketball career.
High school was just an amazing experience down with Coach Satterfield down at Hamilton Southeastern. I got to play around some amazing athletes down there. We had a lot of guys go D1, some D2, some NAIA with Indiana Wesleyan, our point guard did. I just got to play around some of the best athletes I've ever played around, and then competing-wise too, we were playing against Big Ten opponents, guys with SEC, ACC, stuff like that. So that really, in high school, got me to learn what it's like to play against good players and kind of model my game after them, and just trying to do exactly what they do and what I've learned from all of them, and just taking it from there.
So you learned a lot in high school on the basketball court. Also, your senior year, I understand you had some success in track and field. Let me hear about that.
So senior year, I knew I've always wanted to run track and field, but AAU basketball was always like kind of in the spring, so I never got to do that. So then finally senior year, after I was already committed here to Trine, I was like, why not just take it up finally? So me and another one of my teammates and another good friend of mine, we actually all got on this 4x4 team, and three of us of the four had never run track before in our lives. It was our first time ever doing it, and we ended up training every day as hard as we could, and we ended up placing at state. And we didn't even run indoor either. It was just outdoor. We probably got 6 or 7 races in before they finally counted for sectionals, and we made the most of it and ran pretty well at state. Down in Bloomington, we got to skip graduation actually, which was like a 4-hour-long process for all those guys who did have to go. So we weren't too mad about it. We ended up with a medal and got to be on the podium.
So how do you end up at Trine? How did you get to know Coach Miller and make this journey to Trine University?
So I've had a lake house up here on Crooked Lake since like 2012, 2013 with my family. I was always familiar with the area. We'd spend summers up here. And I always knew Trine was over here, but I didn't think too much of it. And it wasn't until my junior year going into my senior year that Coach Lehman and Coach Hirth at the time, and also Coach Metry, who actually recruited some of us but left before we got here, they started reaching out. We started getting to know them. I came on a few visits. I came to a couple games, and just instantly I was learning more and more about this place, and it was one of the biggest things of why I ended up committing here. Is it just felt like home. I was close to my family. I knew everything that was going on, and it seemed like the best possible situation for me, academic-wise and basketball-wise, that would fit me the best.
I admire you because you were in this for the long haul. Obviously, there were some times last year when you have Langston Johnson and Marcus Winters and Jake Davis and how well Bryce was playing off the bench. There were some games that you didn't get to play or not very much. And for you, a decorated high school athlete, obviously competitive, that had to be, I would imagine that would have to be frustrating to not get a lot of playing time. How did you kind of keep your head down and fight through that time last year when you weren't playing as much?
Last year was definitely a different type of year because, I mean, I couldn't be too mad about things because things are going well at times for us. And since freshman year, we were always told to buy into the system. And it took some time. Coming in as a freshman, you think, oh, everyone has that high hopes for themselves, thinking they're good, thinking they're going to play right away. But once you finally realize what college basketball is all about, it doesn't matter that this is Division III, it could be Division I, Division II, NAIA. College basketball is college basketball. And it's a whole new jump from high school. So you just have to buy into that system, and I really finally bought in sometime freshman year after I started a few games and then didn't play the next couple. I realized I just have to accept my role, and that's a big thing that Coach Miller's always preached is accept your role. Everyone knows their strengths and weaknesses. Everyone on the team knows everyone else's strengths and weaknesses. And you work on those day in, day out, and it's just accepting that. And once you finally get that time, you just have to be ready for it. And I feel like I have done a pretty good job last year. Like whatever my name was called, I was ready for it against Heidelberg. I think there was a stretch before those games. I didn't play 2 or 3 games, and if I did, it was very low minutes. And then come on against Heidelberg and had 13. It was Lang's 1,000-point scoring night, and they needed someone to step up, and I did what I could. I helped us get a win and just moved on from there.
Let's fast forward to 2021. Those 3 guys I mentioned are gone. Bryce obviously still here, but the other 3, you're in the starting lineup. You look up now midway through the regular season already. You're averaging over 20 points a game. You're the reigning MIAA Player of the Week. Your coach cannot say enough good things about you and how well you've been playing. That's got to be so gratifying that you paid your dues. You know, you didn't always get the playing time early, but here you are now seeing all of your hard work pay off.
I have to give it all to my teammates, though, because if you go back and watch the games, that you could look at the box scores and I'm the leading scorer, I'm doing this and that, but when you look at in-depth in the game, like I'm getting my baskets off cuts that my teammates are screening for me and they're finding me on open cuts, and transition, we're moving the ball well and stuff like that, and we're getting good screens and everything's going in. It's not like I'm just isolating every play. So like it's all to my teammates, and I know any of the other days like they're going to get their stuff going and I'm going to find them, but they know sometimes it's whoever's got the hot hand, you got to feed it to them, and I've just been lucky enough that it's been falling for me lately.
Well, that echoes what Coach Miller said to us last week, which was this is the most unselfish team he's coached. He says he's having more fun coaching this team than he's ever had before. And do you get that same feeling that this is a group of guys that are just really tied together?
Yeah, I do. I think I mentioned it in one of the post-game interviews against Hope. This is one of the closest family-like aspects of a team I've ever been a part of. So even off the basketball court, we have all the guys coming over constantly. We're playing cards, we're watching movies together. Even after practice, like we'll go get food together, all this stuff. It's like we're constantly together. It's just not like in high school, you kind of have a basketball team and you have like a separate friend group. This is our friend group, this is our fraternity, this is our family here, and we're always together. We love each other's success, and I think it's one of the things that I'm unbelievably happy for everyone's success on the team. Even like those bench guys that get in here and there, just because they're one of the they're the most important part of our team because they get us ready for all those games that we're winning. And then once they get in there, they can get buckets here and there, and we're just so extremely happy for everyone going on.
Undefeated, nationally ranked, right at the top of the MIAA. I know your goals are high going forward, but last week we find out that the NCAA has canceled the Division III national tournament. Is that something that you guys have talked about as a team? Is that not really a big deal right now as you're focused one game at a time? Or was that a disappointment to hear that?
It was definitely a disappointment because we think this year it's like we have a lot going for us. We're playing really well, and we always think, yes, we can prove ourselves in the conference level, but we also think it would be nice to prove ourselves on the national level as well. But also at the same time, our focus every single day since November, since even preseason, like working out in the summer together and stuff like that, is we want to bring home the MIAA, either regular season or conference tournament or both, and like that's our main goal. But especially this year, it's tough not knowing there's an NCAA tournament. But at the same time, we have no seniors. We have everyone coming back next year. No one's plans on leaving, nothing like that. So if not this year, then next year, and we're always ready for any opportunity that's ahead of us.
After the Kalamazoo game, we find out that Brooks Miller had won his 150th game as a head coach. You guys greeted him after the game with a little Gatorade shower or the water bottle shower. What about Coach Miller and all that he's accomplished? I know that he doesn't want to talk about any of that stuff. It's all about you guys. But as one of his players now for 2-3 years, it's got to be exciting to see what he and this program are accomplishing.
It's definitely excited. It was definitely tough from the beginning. He's a tough love type of guy, and he'll know that. He accepts it. But once you finally get to start knowing him and realizing that he wants the best out of you, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. And I'm extremely happy for him, that 150. It actually worked out well last night that we were all planning on being kind of quiet, like getting our waters ready, and then surprising him. And we thought he kind of had an idea, but apparently he did not. And then he said, quote, like, come on, let's get some excitement up in here. And we were waiting for the first thing he said. We were going to go nuts, and it just worked out perfectly that he walked himself right into it. So we went nuts with the water. We congratulated him. After he was completely drenched, he was asking, like, what is going on? What is this? And Coach Frisbee, the one who found out it was his 150th, let him know. He kind of got that, like, realization for a second, then we drenched him again.
A couple last things with Nick Bowman. I think of you as more of a jump shooter and a guy that works around the perimeter. But I've seen you get to the rim a couple times this year. You can get up now. I mean, you've got some vertical, and I could see you throwing a couple of balls down this year. That's a possibility, right?
It is a possibility. I've gotten a few this year. Just depends on how my legs are feeling during the game. But last night I barely got one off. But I get those breakaway fast breaks off steals a lot, and I plan on kind of making a statement. It kind of just brings that energy and intensity we need, and it kind of just makes feel good, get stuff going for us.
Well, between that and whenever we have a big crowd at the MTI Center, hopefully soon, and these fans get a chance to watch Emmanuel Magnanglo, that dude can throw it down, and that kid sprinting up and down the floor, getting back on defense, connecting defensively to his teammates. you know, he's obviously got the athletic ability, but I can already see the development of the basketball IQ. It's going to be fun for you to play with him for a couple of years too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, ever since we first met him at the fall when he first came to an open gym, we learned he was coming here, to now his basketball IQ has completely skyrocketed. It's been exponential. It's been crazy. Every single day you can see him learning something new. He'll, even in practice, like he'll forget a switch here, and then we'll tell him like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is our defense. Very next play, you won't have to think twice about it. He's developing so much and so quick. It's been amazing to watch, and I'm just glad I can be there by his side to see it.
So you have all your teeth. Unfortunately, Warzeka can't say that. I saw a photo online this morning, and he had a couple chiclets knocked out there, didn't he?
He did. So it was a very tough game at Albion. He dove on the floor after a ball. Their big guy, Caden Ebling, dove on top of him, and he kind of ate the ground. We gave him a little crap about it. We were telling him to smile, and his smile actually looked better now, but he said he would replace it because we got that win, so that's all that matters to us. But yeah, he did get a little price to pay.
Nick Bowman's the MIAA Player of the Week, averaging over 20 points a game, leading this Trine Thunder team to an undefeated record so far, into the MIAA regular season now for conference games. Can't wait to watch you guys the rest of the way. Continued success to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.